everyone. Welcome to Power Ministry 2012. It's good to see you back again, and we're looking forward to the trip. I want to give you a little highlight of today's meeting, and you'll hear from other members of the board as well during their time on this video. The meeting started out today with a time of reflection, and that's one thing that I want to urge all of you to do prior to going on the trip this year, is to take time to really find introspect and find where God has you on December 11th, 2011, just about a month away from the Power Ministry trip of 2012. So I urge you to take time each day to find time with the Lord and to pray, to read your Bible, and just to ask the Lord where He has you for this trip. For many of you, you've been several years in a row and you might be thinking it's the same thing. For some of you, it's the first time you'll be going with us. And so I urge you strongly, though, wherever you're at in your walk, take time to find out what God has for you during this year's trip. Following that time of prayer and preparation, Charlie Brown read a note from his book, The Lantern's Light, and that book will be made available to you, and we will give you more information about that as we go. But it's a great little devotional and a real pick-me-up on days when you might not be feeling too good, or those days when you're feeling full of life. You know that the Lord is with you through Charlie's book, The Lantern's Light. As you speak to your wives and family members about the Power Ministry trip, we want you to know the area that we'll be going to and the places that we will be ministering at. And so once the gentlemen get off the plane, either in San Antonio or Austin, and meeting in San Antonio, we will drive due west to Del Rio, Texas, which is across the border from Acuña, Mexico. Acuña is the town where we'll be doing several projects, puppet shows, building projects, ministering to pastors and different missionaries and the like. From Laredo, we will travel down the Rio Grande to Matamoros, which is across the border from Brownsville, Texas, and from there we will visit Magdiel Bible College, one of the favorite stops each year, and I'm sure that you'll all be very impressed as to what that place looks like right now and all that Power Ministry has done there. Once we leave Brownsville, we have about an hour's drive to McAllen, Texas, which is across the border from Reynosa, Mexico. And once we get into McAllen, we will go across the border to Reynosa, Mexico, and minister at such places like Refugio Children's Home, Rio Bravo Children's Home, Hector's Place. We will be staying one night at Rio Bravo. That is the one night we will be staying in Mexico. And then we will have Sunday church at the Dome Church, Iglesia Alianza, as is tradition. From there, on Sunday, we will do a long drive straight north to San Antonio, have our last night in San Antonio, and then have our debriefing and communion service and commission everybody to go out and serve the Lord as He would have them do. So that will be our trip on week one. We start in San Antonio on Monday, January 16th, and we will depart San Antonio on Monday, January 23rd. For those of you going on week two, it's going to be more of a traditional trip that we've had in the past. We'll start in Del Rio and work our way across to Acuña, then down to Laredo. We'll be in Laredo for a couple of days because we do not go to Nuevo Laredo anymore due to the violence. From Nuevo Laredo, work our way down to McAllen and Reynosa and those great ministries that we serve along that city, and then head down to Matamoros and the Bible College, and we'll end there as tradition and then head straight up to San Antonio following our visit at Magdiel. We'll finish on Wednesday, February 1st, with communion and debriefing, and that will conclude the 2-week 2012 Power Mission journey. Following that, I mentioned a little bit about the number of men who participated in a Power Ministry trip. This is our 12th year, and after this January, these trips are complete, 630 men will have taken at least one trip, and we know the Lord is blessing us and spreading us out throughout the earth. We also mentioned that men from 25 states, 44 churches, and 5 countries have come on this trip. And we finally mentioned that because of Power Ministry, we have missionaries that are in 3 countries right now because of their experience on Power Ministry trip. They are in Nepal, Moldova, and Italy. So you can see that the Power Ministry name is out there. We are still searching for some people to go. We think we're going to have about 130 men on the trip this year. Right now, 109 have registered. So if you have not registered yet, please make sure you do so online only. Do your medical release, your driver's form, and if we are buying an airline ticket for you, we Power Ministry, we need to know that as soon as absolutely possible. It is imperative that you have a passport, and then Bob will explain to you the things that you need to bring in order to prepare yourself best. So with that, I bid you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and pray that God will bless you in this preparation time as you get ready for Power Ministry 2012.
Okay, so I'm going to share some of the specifics of the trip for you. Hopefully you can use this YouTube and refer back to it when you have questions. First, on the trip cost, a lot of guys have a misconception that the registration pays for the whole trip, and in actuality it doesn't. Last year our trip cost $1,673 per person to go, and that's about double the average cost of $812 that guys pay. That's the average of airfare and non-airfare participants. So the other half of that comes from fundraising. So for all you guys out there to help this year with the Idaho Golf Tournament and bowling and Ridgecrest Golf Tournament and Riverside, our golf tournament and CIF activities, or other fundraising that you did, or if you were a sponsor, thank you so much, because that's what that money goes for, is to fund the projects and the rest of the things that happen on the trip that the registration doesn't cover. So we thank you for your support. Now when you register, you have to do that online. Your fee covers the direct cost, basically your room and board and your transportation. And so make sure you fill out the medical release when you do registration. When you fill out the medical release, there's a button at the bottom that says submit. Please click on the submit button. That's what actually automatically emails it to Doug Weibel, who gets those. And for drivers, fill out the driver's app. I'll tell you right now, we always need drivers. If you've filled out a registration already and you didn't click driver's app, and you would consider being a driver, I would appreciate you'd let us know. We really need drivers this year, so we'd appreciate that. Anyways, make sure you click that submit button. Scholarships, we have scholarships available for people. We never want money to be a deciding factor if you go or don't go. Every year we have guys that are scholarshiped, or we do payment plans. You tell us what works for you. If God's blessed you this year and you can help scholarship someone else, let me know, or send us a check just saying donation for scholarship. Really need help this year because a lot of guys are hurting. So we appreciate your help on that. On the trip payments, you can mail your trip payments to Power Ministry. The address is on the website. It is P.O. Box 56377 in Riverside. The zip is 92517. The trip registration fee is $650. Or if you're a Southern California guy and we've already bought your airfare, your fee is $975. If we bought you airfare, your first payment is past due. If we didn't buy your airfare, your first payment is due yesterday, or actually the 12th of December. And for those that we bought airfare for, your second payment of $325 is now due. So, and then the last payment for everyone is due by the 15th of January. That's another $325. So a total of $650 for those that are buying their own airfare, $975 for those that we are buying the airfare. If you want to have your payments included in your donation report that we send out at the end of the year, you need to get those mailed in December, and the earlier the better. Would appreciate that. You can pay with cash. Cash is always good if you're in my locale. Check probably is preferred because it's a good record for you and me to record the payments. So you can make it out to Power Ministry, and you can send it again to the website, or not to the website, but to our address. There should be a slide that's up now that has the address on it. You can refer to that. Credit card. We do accept credit card. We're like everyone else. The credit card companies charge us about 3% when you use a credit card. So if you'd like to make a $10 donation on your $325 payment, just make it $335 and help us with that cost. Really appreciate it. There are a couple of different ways we can do credit card. you can call me and I can do it over the phone with you. You can go to the website and you can pay on the website. So how to make a payment on the website is a little cumbersome. Our website is not the most user-friendly website. We understand that. We're working on that. But you can go to powerministry.org or com, either one, both of them works. Across the top there's kind of a band, kind of a gray band, and click on the support button there. And then you'll see a make a donation button. So click on the make a donation button. You fill out the donation information. And then you'll see pay with PayPal account. We use PayPal to process these, but you do not have to have a PayPal account to use this. You'll see below that you can check don't have PayPal account. Just click on that. You'll pop up the credit card information. You can fill in the credit card information. Then select donate and continue. When you select the donate and continue, you'll have an opportunity to fill in a field that says add special instructions to seller. Power Ministry would be the seller. So there's where you're going to tell me this is your 2012 trip payment. Or it could be if you have someone who's helping sponsor you, this is where they would say 2012 trip payment for Bob Kroll if you'd like to help sponsor me or for you. But basically you can tell your friends to use that button and make a donation to help you with your trip. Just make sure they put your name in that special field so that I can credit your account for that. And then complete your transaction, and that will make the payment. So on purchasing your own airfare, most of you are buying your own airfare. It's really important once you accomplish that, that you email Mark. You'll see the email address on the slide there. If Mark does not have your flight information, then we won't know to pick you up at the airport. So it's really important you tell us, I'm coming in an American airline, this is my flight number, and this is the time I'm going to be arriving in San Antonio. That way we'll know to make sure to look for you. Week 1, you need to show up on January 16th in San Antonio before 5 p.m. You take the Enterprise shuttle, and we'll have a van at the Enterprise shuttle at the rental location, and we'll pick you up there. If you want to fly into Austin, if Austin works better for you to fly into rather than San Antonio, some of the flight times, times work out better. You have to be in Austin by 4 p.m. Go to the JetBlue baggage and you'll see the guys gathering there at the JetBlue baggage area to take the bus then to San Antonio. And then leaving at the end of the trip on the 23rd out of San Antonio, make sure your flight's after 2 p.m. out of Austin after 4 p.m. And then you see the same dates. The times are the same for week 2. You see the dates there on week 2. If you are driving to San Antonio, you'll see at the bottom of the slide there, we meet at Hill Country Inn and Suites. They're on the 410 loop. So just meet us there. Make sure you're there before 5 p.m. and we'll depart from there. What to bring, particularly for rookies, you always are anticipating, okay, what do I need to pack, what I need to bring, what I have to have. It's pretty simple. If you look at this slide, you'll see that Power provides you your bag, your luggage bag. Make sure you use your luggage bag. It's Power Ministry. If you lost yours, you can contact us, and for a small nominal fee, we can get you a replacement bag. But that's the bag you need to use. And you can bring one carry-on. However, the carry-ons must be with you at all times. A lot of times we move luggage around for you. Carry-ons are your responsibility. As you look at the slide there, you'll see the things in red Power provides. We provide the shirt each day, a polo shirt for Sunday, and a hooded sweatshirt for colder weather. You can see a couple pairs of jeans and the other things you need to bring. 2 pairs of shoes, really important, in case you get one pair muddy or wet. My recommendation is right before you leave on the trip, go to one of the weather services, look at the extended forecast for Del Rio, Texas, Harlingen, Texas, and Brownsville, and kind of make a determination based on what the weather's predicted to be as to how you want to pack. Some years it's really cold and thermal underwear and an additional jacket comes in handy. Other years you may want to put some shorts in because it's going to be balmy. You just never know, so check the weather. Also suggest you throw in one of those disposable parkas. Go to one of the sports stores and spend $3, get one of those little parkas. It's about like a trash bag almost, upside down. Throw one of those in your backpack. Those come in handy sometimes if it starts to rain. Money. Suggest you bring $100 to $200. You may have 1 or 2 times where we'll ask you to buy your own fast food just because of the way the schedule works out. we provide most of the food. There may be a time you want to leave a love gift for someone. I think if you bring $100, you'll bring home change. So if you bring between 100 and 200, you should be comfortable with whatever you need and go home with some change. Obviously your passport, hopefully if you've signed up for the trip, you already have your passport or you have that in process. You must have a passport. Tools. A lot of guys wonder about tools for the projects. We suggest you bring your own tool belt. That could be just one of the canvas nail aprons that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's, and a hammer as kind of basic tools. Don't buy expensive tools to bring. It's also helpful for us if you want to buy a hammer and a tool belt and just leave it with us in Texas, and that way we have our inventory to help in future years just as a donation. If you're an electrician or you have a specialized trade, electricians or refrigeration guys I kind of think of, a lot of times they like to bring their own kind of special tools for their trade, so you would pack that just for you because you're going to use those, you're not going to leave them behind. And then work gloves are always good. If you're like me where you're not swinging a hammer all the time, you'll get blisters pretty fast, so a pair of work gloves are not only warm but will save your hands too. One of the things we do almost every year is visit the prison, and you'll see the next section there is a hygiene donation package. In the hygiene donation package, this is the package that we like to donate to prisoners when we make the prison visits. So we'd like to encourage you to pick up the items that are listed there, no sharps or aerosols obviously, put them in a gallon Ziploc bag, put them in your checked baggage, and then when we get down to Del Rio, we'll gather all those and we'll use those at the prison visits. Storage is really limited, so guys tend to overpack, a lot of guys do, so show your wife how little you can pack on this trip. If you can't get it in your power bag, then you don't need it, plus your carry-on. So extreme weather, just kind of look at that again. The weather, make sure that you've packed appropriately for the weather. Last slide just gives some emergency contact information. When we're on the trip, any of those 4 guys, we have our cell phones. We're usually available. We know where everyone is at most of the time. So if you have an emergency, a family emergency, this is a sheet you can kind of give those information to your spouse, your family members, in case of emergency to get a hold of you. Really looking forward to seeing you on the trip this year. Hope you have a wonderful Christmas time, a blessed time with your family. We'll see you in January in Del Rio. Thanks.
In closing, let me remind you of a few things. Number 1, if you received a power bank last year at debriefing, please bring that back with you if you're not using it, or mail your money or bring your money with you on the trip this year. Marty would like to have those power banks back if you are not using them. If you are, please continue to do so. It's a great reminder of the missionaries that we serve along the Texas-Mexico border, and we would appreciate if you put a couple coins in there, make it a fundraiser, and keep Power Ministry going. Marty also wanted to let everybody know that you need to bring hygiene packs with you: soap, toothpaste, deodorant, mouthwash, anything that a prisoner would like to have in his cell in terms of hygiene products, or we actually give those out on the Joy Tours. But if every man would bring 1 pack, so if you would fill 1 little plastic bag with hygiene items, that would be most appreciated. If you are driving this year, we need your driver's license applications. Marty is collecting those. You can get that on the website and fill out the driver's license, or the driver's permission form. Finally, Marty reminded everybody today at the meeting that this is a team effort, and you need to have that team concept. You need to be willing to be flexible, moldable, go on short sleep. You'll have plenty to eat, but again, you are one of maybe 70 men trying to pull this together for the service of the Lord. So please keep that in mind as you pray throughout this holiday season and in preparation for our departure either on January 16th or January 23rd. May God bless you as you prepare your hearts for the Power Missionary Journey 2012.